I'm up to some. I'm up to some. I'm up to some. I'm up to some. I've been to go, glad that you know. I'm up to some. Kevin just gave me the green light to go. I'm up to some. Girl, I been knew that you been down. I'm up to some. It's always you and your friends round. I see you got the new kin style, pretty in style. Been thinking, no, they heard my name round, they don't think I know. Your girl in the back when a cloud chase. I guess for the night we'll keep it OC. That's a great distraction, but you know I'm on a mission. Y'all got 3 months to get practice, almost like I'm chasing chicken, cuz I'm up to some. I'm up to some. I'm up to some. I'm up to some. One day back in my timeline, you was worried about my limelight. You see me dipping every time I saying ain't life I make beats more. You control the shift like a keyboard. Hold on, wait, like a paradigm and keep running on like a marathon. Then you reach for your blacks like Farrakhan. But after that be the weedo. Told me that you wanna meet me, no. I don't wanna really be mean, no. But I've had better on the East Coast. Fuck you for the green like CeeLo. All about the green like she go. Phone blowing up like CeeLo too. Guess Ben really got the keys though too. Like I'm up to some. I'm up to some. I'm up to some. I'm up to some. Living made me get right. They just gotta sit tight. They can have that long life. Grab that money on sight. Living made me get right. She just gotta sit tight. They can have that long life. Grab that money on sight. Living made me get right. They just gotta sit tight. They can have that long life.
Hey, what on?
Hey.
What up? What up? What up?
You know, it makes you want to keep going. You know what I mean? That's that. You know.
Oh yeah.
Welcome. This is another episode of the Porterhouse KC with Service presents What's Next. Tonight's episode or this evening's show, we are excited to have many of the artists that painted the Black Lives Matter designed, created, mastermind the designs that were placed in multiple locations throughout the city. I know they're getting pulled every which way, so we appreciate you all accepting the invitation for coming on. And yeah, so this is Ron and
I'm Sharonta Morgan, the other co-founder of Porterhouse KC, and thank you all for joining us tonight. You know, y'all have some good things going on tonight too. So I know y'all on all the news and international stuff too.
Hey everybody, I'm Morgan from the Public Library. Thank you so much for your project, for putting one of these in front of the public library, because we all know that libraries need access, and we are absolutely working every day for equality in our nation. Thank you.
So really quick, if you don't mind, let's do a little round robin. Introduce yourself and maybe 1 or 2 things that someone may or may not know about you. Adrian, you want to start?
Okay, well, I'm Adrian Clayton. I am a mother, I am an educator, and I am a twin.
Ooh, okay. All right. Vivian?
Hi everybody, I'm Vivian Blewett. I am also a mother. I do a little bit of educating, and I'm married, have 3 kids, lived in Kansas City almost my entire life.
Okay. Awesome. Michael, since you're right there below, I try to get our orientation together. There you go. Michael, you want to go next?
Yeah, so I'm Mike Toombs, artist and educator. I do a lot of programming in juvenile justice. I run a program in the summer called Teams in Transition for the city of Kansas City. Works with a lot of our inner city youth and the police department. And so along with that, we do quite a few murals around. So that's part of our effort in Kansas City. We've been here our whole life too.
Awesome. Welcome. Mr. Warren. You're on mute. There you go.
There it is. Hello, my name is Warren Harvey. I am a full-time artist, born and raised in KC. And I know, right? Raise the roof. I'm also a dancer. So that's another thing that some people may not know about me.
And he kills the game for sure.
The two-step game. The Baker was on our show. She told us about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Harold Smith.
Yes, my name is Harold Smith, and I'm an artist and a teacher here in Kansas City.
Awesome. I love the educators, man. The artists and educators. That is phenomenal. So what we do is we normally go around and do some shout outs. So normally like me and Sharon kind of fight on who goes first in shout outs. So instead of doing that, we'll just let Morgan go first in her shout outs.
Ooh, this week was hard because last week we were doing eShip Summit, talking to a bunch of entrepreneurs. And this week I took it lower. But what I really mean to say is Breonna Taylor.
Awesome. Sharon, I'll let you go.
So I'm gonna shout out my wife. I always shout out my wife. Amethyst Place, Marlene. But shout out to Amigo. She's one of the 4 contestants nationally to be in the contest she's in. Chessing Kaufman and Flex Pod, where we at? And Casey Sorceling.
Absolutely. My wife. I want to shout out my wife, my boys. They're probably watching. If not, okay, they'll be joining us here shortly. I want to shout out Chris Good for his efforts, what he's doing in the community, what he's pushing back on, and what he's making folks aware of. I wanted to also shout out. I'm gonna change it a little bit. I want to shout out to all the talented Black people that we have out here. Wells Fargo CEO said there's not enough talented Black folks out here to move up to the executive suites, right? He came back on it a little bit. But I just want to shout out all the talented Black folk that are out there. I also want to shout out the people who take no for an answer. I want to shout out the people who continue to push, even though we're in the midst of everything that we're in. I want to shout all those folks out. Keep pushing. The artists that's on this panel are a push.
Yes.
Also, I want to shout out Chess Inc., our partner organization, Kaufman Foundation for supporting everything that we're doing. Plex Pod, this is where we are. We're broadcasting live in Plex Pod right now. I want to shout out the Community Capital Fund, Michael Cremona. They're really pushing what it means to support community. We're partnering with them. We're excited to be working with them. The eShip community, Mid-Continent Library, we have a mentee program that we're partnering on, and we're really excited about that. We already put some information on the Porterhouse page, so if you want more information about that, just go to our page after this show. You'll see that information with that. I want to open it up to you guys. Any shout outs? What shout outs you got? Adrian, want to go ahead? Go ahead.
Okay. I have to shout out my beautiful kids, Dorian, Raven, Whitney, and Wendell. That make this environment easy to create in. And I also want to shout out my sister, Natasha Ria Elskari, who is the founder of Black Space Black Art. And she's the reason why we had this opportunity. So, and Gwen Grant of Urban League, like she was the best project lead. So I have to give her a shout out too.
Oh, nice. Who's next?
I'll go next. I would absolutely love to shout out my family, my boys, my husband, my mom, my sister. They really, really, really chip in when I'm trying to create. I have a 1-year-old child, and it's really, really, really hard to create with a baby. So they help me out a lot. I also would like to give a huge, huge, huge shout out to Natasha Ria Elskari. Black Space Black Art. Y'all check it out. If you haven't already, please go like and follow Black Space Black Art on Facebook and Instagram. I would also like to shout out my project manager, which I think was the best. Sorry, Gwen, but Justice Horn was on it. So shout out to Justice, shout out to Christy, shout out to Truth Market Collective. shout out to the Black Space Black Art members that are on this meeting tonight. Love y'all, love y'all, love y'all.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just shout out to the Porterhouse KC group, because we can be out here and working our hearts out and doing everything we do, but if we don't have people talking about it, it's like we're invisible. So it's important to have organizations like this that are willing to invest their time and creativity in giving us a voice and helping the community understand that we do have a creative side and that it does make an impact. And if that has not been exhibited by the accomplishment of the 6 artists on the panel, then I don't know what else we can do to prove to people what African American artists are capable of when given the right amount of resources and support. So thank you, Porterhouse, for having this type of a program that gives us a voice out there in the world.
Appreciate that.
Warren,
you're
on mute.
I don't know if you're on mute or not, but we can't hear you right now. What is up? Let me see. Nope. Still can't hear you. Wonder if it's
There you go.
It was the earphone. It was the earphone. I just had to pull that thing out. No, I just want to give a shout out to my mom. I love you, girl. And I want to give a shout out to everybody that was just a part of the mural event, just making it happen. Everybody that volunteered, everybody that was part of the team. It was crucial that everybody came together and made it happen. So shout out to all y'all. Word up.
awesome. Thank you. Sorry, we're smoking. We saw some smoking over here. So we're doing a lot of new things right now with the studio setup, and I think we saw something smoking. Let me make sure. Sorry about that. Harold, anybody to shout out?
For real.
Yeah, I'd like to shout out my fellow artists. Well, first of all, my son and my family members here in Kansas City. Students that I teach at Lincoln Middle, of course. Natasha Elskari, definitely. She's doing some marvelous things here for undiscovered artists. She's giving a lot of artists their first show, their first exhibition. In the art world, a lot of curators, they wait for the white press to say you're a good artist before they want to exhibit you. But Natasha doesn't do that. She doesn't subscribe to that. So I want to thank her for that and connecting me with this project. So like I said, I want to thank my fellow artists, Brother Michael Toombs for great ideas on fixing the mural coming up. And you all for giving us this opportunity to be on your program, sharing your cyberspace with us. So, thank you very much.
Appreciate it. I also wanted to shout out Katie too. Katie actually is she let me know about a project that was going on this weekend on the plaza. There's some art that's going to be live. I know there's an art fair, but there's also something else that's going on the plaza where there's going to be Black art displayed as well on some windows throughout. So, Katie, if you can put that in the comment section exactly, because I wrote it down, I promise, but for some reason, I don't know where I wrote it, and I don't want to get it wrong. If you could post that information in the chat, I'll share it with the group. So let's just jump right into the questions and try to make this as efficient as possible, because we want to make sure that we get everything that we can get out of you guys, because this is awesome. So really quick, this is a question for everybody. Tell us about yourself a little bit. What kind of moves you in art? And then in your particular type pieces of art, what are you try to convey in a lot of your pieces? Is there a consistent theme with most of your pieces, or is it just kind of like a widespread thought or process? Anybody can jump in. Like I said, what's your background? Tell us a little bit about yourself and your art.
Hey.
Okay, I'll start. I've been in education for 20 years. I am a product of the Kansas City, Missouri school district, under some great artists, even in Kansas City. Like, I know Mario Jordan moved out of the city, but I had like Anthony High and Lonnie Powell, Andrea Davis, and Kathy Mendenhall, and Wendy West Cummins. So I learned under them. And I stayed in Kansas City. I actually got a full ride to UMKC just because my mother didn't want to let me go. I was 17 and she didn't want to allow me to go to Atlanta to go to school, or Chicago or California. So I stayed in Kansas City. And so at UMKC, I was able to get a bachelor's in studio art with emphasis in graphic design. And then I went on to get a master's in curriculum and instruction in the ed spec and admin. So I've just pretty much been in the education field. It's friendly for being a mother. Being able to teach and being a mother, being able to be off with them. So I've stuck with it. I love kids. I love art. I love inspiring my students to be their best selves and to create and be expressive and to not feel ashamed about that. I draw a lot of my inspiration by what is happening around me, what I see and how it makes me feel. And most of the times I'm just really trying to express the beauty and the humanity of my people. I'm just really trying to create artwork in a way that will get people outside of who I am and outside of who my people are to see that we hurt physically, emotionally, spiritually. We love hard, all the things that everyone else does, we do it too. And so I try to create that in my artwork to just, to just give us so you can see our humanity, really.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. I appreciate you sharing that. Who's next? We want to keep it going in the line. Vivian, this is open discussion, so anybody can jump.
Really, it's hard to go after Adrian. Golly, all that greatness. Actually, again, like I said, I've lived in Kansas City since I was about 12 years old. I'm initially from East Texas. I did not come to painting until maybe about 4 or 5 years ago when I got laid off from work and I was just sitting around. I had always talked about wanting to paint. I just never did it until I had the time. When I had the free time, I kind of just picked up a piece of cardboard and I had a paint kit actually that someone bought me like 10 years prior that I never used.
Yeah.
So I just took a piece of cardboard and started using this paint on this cardboard, and I went and bought canvases, and that was basically, the rest of it, I've just been doing it ever since that, seriously. What really inspires me is a lot of what Adrian said, just the things around me, just the community around me. Of course, I've grown up around Black people my whole life, and that is what I stick to. I create mostly Black women. Black women are very, very beautiful to me in every aspect. Curves. I love hair. I love lips. I love all of those things that for me, when I was a kid, was kind of one of those, my lips are kind of big. My hair is really kinky. It's just not something that I cared to embrace. So as an adult, it's something that I don't want other kids to grow up feeling. I don't want them to feel like their lips are too big or their hair isn't straight enough, because that's not what they see when they see what they are told to be beautiful. So that is my goal, is to create things in a beautiful light so that people can see themselves there. I want children to see themselves in the beauty, even if no one verbally tells them your lips are beautiful, your hair is perfect the way that it is. I want them to be able to see that. I also create a lot of kid art, and people, I think, don't always see the power in creating things on a child level. But I do think that sometimes when you see heavy things on the level of a kid, it hits you a little bit differently than if you see adults in that same space. So if I'm talking to a child about the realness of police brutality and the realness of just how angry the world can be towards them, people kind of see that a little bit differently. Like, surely that's not what children are facing, but the reality is for Black kids, that is exactly what they're facing. That is exactly the conversations we are having to have with our Black boys and our Black girls. And some people may not understand that in their minds. So for me, sometimes even unconsciously, I don't always create it with the thought of, oh, they'll get it. But when I do create it in the way that I do with the kid art, it's really heavy for people. And in that regard, then they're like, oh, okay, now I get it. Because that's some real shit. And that is some real stuff that we are having to deal with in our homes, in our schools, with our children. So that is all my motivation. That is all that I pour in. That's all that I have. And on top of that, I just want to feel good when I create. If I don't have a message, I just want to feel good. And the things that make me feel good is Black beauty. So
I love all of it. I love all of it. I do.
Good luck, guys.
Absolutely. So really quick before Michael goes, I just want to shout out the folks to make comments in the section so far. D Moore, hello. Busy Benton, what's up? Casey, Mr. Casey, where you at? Miss Yvette, Warren's people. Katie's in the building. Glenn. That's our guy. Glenn is here watching. My wife Aisha, she commented, "What's up?" Katie did post the information that we were talking about earlier. Black artists, including the Herald, Michael and Warren, and many others, curated by Truce Market Collective at RE this weekend during the Plaza Art Fair through October 4th. All works are available for purchase, and there is the link for that. There, so that's exactly what I was talking, and that's exactly how it said. I just didn't have my little note, so I'm just letting you know. All right. If you are watching, go ahead and tap in with us. Give us an emoji, give us a hi, give us a heart, give us something. If you have questions for any of these artists, these beautiful people that are on our panel today, put them in the comment section. Linda is here from SCORE, and she said, "Hey, everybody." Linda is one of our weekly guests, and we appreciate her joining us. Michael, I know it's been a minute. You need to reread that question.
Well, I'm going to go in a little bit different direction because I've been at this since about 1991.
Okay.
And when I broke out as an artist in Kansas City, one of the most difficult things was trying to find avenues in which to exhibit my work. And I ran up against one of those walls where, people would come to me and say, I'm a surrealist, I'm a painter, I'm a surrealist. I enjoy painting images similar to what you would see Salvador Dali paint. And so I had a very difficult time getting shows because most people that were doing the shows locally wanted to know if I had Black art. And, my response to that, well, I'm Black and this is my art. So, that's Black art, but that wasn't good enough. Yeah. And I couldn't get into the local shows like the Westport or the Plaza or some of the shows that were popping up in some of the strip malls like Mission and places like that. So finally, I just decided to start creating my own outlets to show my work. I joined Kansas City Spirit Festival, which used to be here in Kansas City back in 91 through about 96. Yeah. And I joined their board of directors, and they gave me a tent, and we grew that tent from a 10 by 10 to a 90 by 120 foot pavilion. And we provided access to that to all the artists locally, performance artists, visual artists, anybody who was willing to come in and present. It seems that through my career, I've been pushed down that path of outreach and education and creating opportunities and venues for artists locally. I spent quite a few years developing those type of venues. I got pushed into education through the juvenile justice, family court, Jackson County drug court, that kind of thing. We worked with children with incarcerated parents, created opportunities for volunteers to work with those young people. We got our artists to come in and work with those kids. We created opportunities for artists in the juvenile detention facilities, as well as for adults who would get felony charges for drug cases. We created programming with the drug court system so that they could get those pending felonies expunged, so that they wouldn't go the rest of their life carrying that weight on their back. So we spent a lot of our time using art as what we call interactive arts education through USD 500 School District over in Wyandotte County, as well as in Kansas City, Missouri. And we were kind of off the radar, but what a lot of people are unaware of is that there's a lot to be made in respects to arts and education here in the Midwest. If you have a talent in communication and working with young people or with adults and helping develop these bridges, the opportunity is unlimited. Most of the contracts could average anywhere from $30,000 to $160,000, depending on your ability to bring other artists and professionals into the mix and get them involved in the process. So part of my purpose has always been, as some of the other artists on the panel, to broaden our community's awareness of what properties art has above and beyond the aesthetic, because we all seem to get kind of hung up on the aesthetic of art, and we don't understand the philosophical elements that goes to quality of life, life experience, things that we do in our off time as family, that are arts related, that generate a lot of revenue that we a lot of times don't get to benefit from. These are the things that I've been forced to explore and to integrate and to develop. And so if I have more conversations, it'll be more in that vein. But I am so happy that I got a chance to experience something called creative placemaking with a group of artists that were selected in an unusual way to take on a huge challenge. And yet each and every one of them achieved a goal that I don't even think a lot of people understand the scope of what just took place. So I feel honored just to be sitting here with these artists, knowing what they've accomplished and knowing that in this country, there's still people who wonder what creative placemaking really is. All they got to do is examine this and they will learn just about everything there is to know about creative placemaking and what it takes.
Awesome. I love that. I love that spin on that too, because I mean, obviously, this is a platform. We have these questions that we put together that's curated from just kind of us and our thoughts and what we feel. So I appreciate you taking it. You taking it to that next piece or how you felt encouraged to answer it, because this platform is definitely about you guys, right? Like, it's cool. It's our platform, and we have a different. Everybody has their own crowds and people that kind of tap in with them and things like that. So our goal is just to bring exposure from the stuff that you guys have been doing, your perspectives, because it's beautiful, man. And what you guys are doing is beautiful. And I just, like I said again, I know I keep saying this, but we do normally do a little flower section where we pay homage and give some flowers out to you guys. But we really appreciate what you guys have done for the city, man, and accepting it. I can imagine you probably went through a lot in mentally accepting to be able to do what it was that you were asked to do, and the opportunity that presented itself to you guys. I can imagine there was some thought in there. It wasn't an automatic like, yep, cool, I'm doing it, I'm ready, let's go, let's rock. There's probably a lot more thinking involved when it comes to that, because this is a big thing, right? This is not just a piece of art that you are for your family, right? This is for the world to see. So
in respects to what you just said, these artists basically got asked to do something that I'm sure was totally unfamiliar to them in terms of scope. When you consider the works that they do, I mean, I'm not saying in terms of creativity. Creativity, they had it all, but scope, this is huge to do something on the scale of these type projects and for the first time. And what you have, the courage you have to step up to that plate and to take on that kind of responsibility, you can only get it by experiencing it. And I saw before they did it, and I'm seeing them after they did it, and I just can't wait to have that conversation.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Dope. So my wife said I'm a little wordy tonight. So that's my PR person. She's my personal PR person. So I'm gonna try to be as wordy. I just put her out there. Yes, I said it. Aisha. So, Warren, what's your thought?
Well, my name is, of course, Warren Harvey. I've been doing art since I was a little kid. When I was young, I used to always tell myself that I wanted to be an artist when I grew up. So I get it. Honestly, my grandmother was an artist before she passed away. So I've always had a connection to art. And so it's just it's just a really big part of who I am. And my art, what I put in my art is my spirituality, my journey towards myself, learning about myself, realizing my power, and putting that wisdom in my art, making sure just creating a conversation, pieces that create conversations about our power. I think it's important that we're reminded who we are, and the power of our minds, the power of our thoughts, the power of our emotions. That's a big thing for me in my journey, and I seem to put that type of message in just about every piece that I do.
I love it. I have a Warren piece too, hanging up in my spot. So, I look forward to getting Adrian, Vivian, Michael, and Harold as well. I'm just saying, I got Warren
pieces
right
too. My walls are bare, so I need some pieces, y'all.
Harold, what you think?
Well, about my work, it's basically my viewpoint, perspective on the Blackness in America. A lot of times from the viewpoint of how Black masculinity is perceived versus how it really is. Those are some things I try to capture in my work. And just from my point of view, my experience.
I love it. So,
Harold, I'm sorry to interrupt. Harold, can you just explain to us a little bit about your Man of Color series that you do so often that is so awesome?
Yes. The Man of Color series is my interpretation of the complexity of Black men in America. I think Black masculinity in America is a complex mix of factors that are physical, mental, emotional, economic, spiritual. All these things converge in being a Black man in America. So I use a lot of different colors to converge, sometimes even colors that seem out of place and seem to even contradict, because people just don't understand. A lot of times they look at Black masculinity, they don't understand how a brother can be a gangster rapper, but he also plays golf for recreation. Things like that people don't get. And so also things like coding, with the language, Black men, the way they may talk amongst themselves and using terms that they wouldn't use in the general around white people. So that's part of it. So that's what the Man of Color series is. It's, to me, my reflection on the complexity of Black masculinity in America. Yeah. Thank you, Vivian.
I think I had a picture on there too, on the video of it too. Yeah.
No.
Oh man, that was great discussion. Thank you all very much for that. Next, we'd like to know, and I know we're on a limited time here, but how do you seek opportunities? We hear the term starving artists, but how do you get the opportunity to be heard and get paid.
Adrian, what you think?
Like, I was trying to give someone else the opportunity to speak first. Opportunities are, well, they're made. Pretty much. Some of us that are part of Black Space Black Art, I work pretty much all day in the schools. So I'm still doing art, but Natasha is like our point person. So a lot of people, like even with the murals, they reached out to her and then she contacted us with the opportunities and told us, hey, here's an opportunity, or she'll just anything that she's aware of, because she's an artist in her own right. She's an author and a poet. And so, and she's been doing that for a while. So a lot of opportunities she will see and then she will bring them to us and we'll find out that way. The way I think that people came to her for our art is also through Black Space Black Art. We started was about maybe 2 or 3 years ago, if I'm correct. You guys correct me if I'm not correct. And we began to form partnerships with Black businesses and saturate the walls with Black art, just to get expose Black people to Black culture, Black art. So I think that was the beginning of opening doors, just the saturation of that artwork and those Black businesses, and being a part of Juneteenth and all of those different opportunities. Kansas City is a very cultural place. So there are tons of opportunities to do lots of artistic things. You just have to know about them. And so for right now, it's through Natasha that I find out about a lot of them, and I've heard more just being a part of the mural process. Being in with Truce Markets, we've learned about other opportunities, and even this opportunity has come from being a part of the muralists that painted on the Black Lives Matter murals. So we all need each other. So opportunities come by knowing people, by relationships, by being exposed.
Networking.
So,
yeah. Vivian?
I am also a part of the same network that Adrian is a part of with Black Space Black Art. And Natasha Ria El-Skari is a very, very fierce person. If you don't know Natasha in real life, then you don't know exactly what I mean when I say that. But when I tell you that Natasha, for me, when Natasha comes to us with an opportunity, 9 times out of 10, she's already vetted it. She's already asked the questions. She's already gone through the things that artists a lot of the times don't really want to necessarily have to stop to deal with. We are kind of spoiled through Natasha in the regard that we just get to create. We just get the opportunity to do exactly what we love to do. And the business side of it, as far as the opportunities that may come, as far as different events that come up, Natasha, she handles those things for us. She handles a lot of things. She just does it. She does it. And like Adrian was saying, just to have the opportunity to show in places where people who are going to appreciate your art are already going to be, that is huge. Like, people are already going to go to the barbershops and beauty salons. So even if they don't know it, the work is needed. The work is needed in those places. Kids see it, adults see it. They make you feel good. They make you think. And basically, that is my saving grace, because without Natasha being that person for me, I would probably just still be in my place of comfort. I would be in like my cubby hole, just creating, and have a stack of canvases stacked up around here that nobody has ever seen. Because, you know, as an artist, it's kind of isolating. You just kind of get into your mode and you start painting, you start doing, and that's just what you love to do. But Adrian is absolutely correct that it is about networking. A lot of the times it's about just meeting people, knowing people. And with the mural project that we've done, it's kind of bizarre to think that only 6 people in this world have done what we just completed. It's kind of crazy to think of that. But with that, also comes different opportunities. And without networking, it's kind of hard to get those type of opportunities. Even though you want to stay in your comfort zone, you want to stay, in your studio because that's where you feel most alive. You do have to get out there and see the reactions to your work. You do have to interact with people and network. So that's pretty much how the work comes. I'm gonna just go ahead and put it out there. I know it's gonna sound really tacky, but I hate commission work.
Oh yeah.
Because I just want to, I just want to be this free wildflower that just wants to do whatever I want to do. But it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes people want specific things, and those are the things that you do because that's what people want to see. And those type of things, Natasha she says, hey, sis, I got this for you. This is what you need. This is how big you need it to be. When can you have it done? And that works for me. Because sometimes going back and forth with a client on color and size and like, what's your lighting? What are you looking for? It can be just a little overwhelming sometimes. So like, even that is just priceless for me. So I wouldn't say that as an artist, I'm starving, but we love the work. We love when we get opportunities. We love the work. We love the exposure. We appreciate it all for sure.
It sounds like you ladies have really found a model that works well for you with a feeder, essentially, that takes care of some of those things and gets you the right opportunities, that does a lot of the networking. Guys, do you work it well in the same system, or has it been a little bit different for you?
So it's definitely been different for me in that I had to approach the artistic world in an entirely different way in order to be a professional artist, to provide the kind of lifestyle that I'm accustomed to. I was a customer service supervisor at a health insurance company called Government Employees Hospital Association up until 1991. And I ran a customer service department, and basically decided at that point I wanted to retire and do art full time. And so I went immediately from a nice salary to zero. I had to figure out how to use art in a totally different way. And one of the ways that I went about it was submerging myself in what was the art world here in Kansas City. What was the art world here in Kansas City is the Municipal Arts Commission, the Metropolitan Arts Commission, the Kauffman Center, the Kemper Museum, the Nelson Atkins Museum. And so I had to try and find ways to integrate myself into these circles of people so that they would get to know who I was and what I am about, so that I could create opportunities to do the things that I could do to make a living. I strongly suggest that artists, one of the things that I think artists should learn from the experience they just witnessed with these 6 artists is that no matter what the circumstances, if you put a creative person in a situation, they will find a creative way to accomplish it. Mm-hmm. If they're not thinking like this.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to think like this, but ultimately when you get thrown in a situation where the outcome is this big, you got to get outside of your head to be able to accomplish that. And so one of the things that I've tried to do is create opportunities for artists to see that there are ways to use your creativity that may not apply in the same ways that you are accustomed or that you've become accustomed to seeing art applied. We're going through COVID, and it's forcing a lot of us to do a lot of different things. And one of the things that I think we're going to all be facing soon is how to recreate how we interact, how we maintain relationship. And art is communication. Above and beyond everything else, it's communication. Mm-hmm. It's about how we build bridges between what we need and what we want. And so when we think about art that way, and when we approach art from that standpoint, there are a whole range of things that we can do with our creativity that can provide us with a stable lifestyle and help our communities through some very difficult social and economic issues. So I challenge anyone out there who considers themselves to be even this much creative to look at the possibility of what art has to offer, because there are hundreds of millions of dollars out there exchanging hands in the arts. And if you are an artist and you're not getting any of it, then trust me, you just need to do a little bit of calibrating, because the money's out there and you can get a portion of it. And they're going to be looking for answers on how to deal with some of these challenges that we now face.
That's good. How about you, Warren?
I love that.
Well, for me, first, I do also benefit from the wonderful work of Natasha, and also I've noticed that through consistency, hard work, it has played a big part in people recognizing my work, connecting with my work, knowing who I am. Me being just me expressing myself and working to do more of that has really authentically brought people to me that really resonates with my work. So I'm grateful that I've been able to be consistent, that I've been able to push through and hold on and continue to express myself, because from that, people feel that, people see that, people hear that, and that's a big thing. And so I feel that me just being myself and expressing that unapologetically is really what I believe gets the word out there, gets people wanting my art. So yeah, it's just really, so with the other artists that are maybe tuning in, it's really about creating and not hoarding it, making sure people see it. Social media really gives a great opportunity to be able to show your work. So at least that, but the more you post, the more consistent you are, the more you are doing the best that you can, that's being recognized, and your fan base, the people that support you, will continue to rise as you give to your craft. And that's what's happened for me.
That's nice.
Harold, what do you have to add?
Okay. Well, in addition to being with Black Art for a year, some things I did. I took advantage of a program through the Arts Council where artists would hang your art in local businesses for 3 months, like in the downtown area. I took advantage of that for a while and got some exposure. But honestly, most of my sales and most of my exposure has come from selling art online using sites like Artsy. I use Fine Art America. I use Zatista, Saatchi, UGallery, Single Art, and eBay. And and it kind of got to the point where I took down a lot of the work off the site because I couldn't keep up with the sales and having to package it up and get it to the post office. So,
Oh, wow.
but yeah, the vast majority of my art sales have been through the online art sites, and it's also led to gallery shows. I've had an exhibition in New York right now, which came as a result of somebody buying a painting on eBay. Had an exhibition in France that, believe it or not, came. And a lot of people, it's funny, a lot of people look down on artists who sell art on eBay. But when I first started, guys like Mark Kostabi were selling their own art on eBay. These are famous artists. And I was reading Art News the other day, and believe it or not, in this pandemic, some artists who have works in the MoMA are actually now putting their art back on eBay. So the online, actually, your art gets seen worldwide. So using online, I think the furthest I've sent an art piece was to the Ukraine.
Wow.
So I try to use the internet quite a bit, especially since I don't like to leave the house. So it makes it nice.
I get that. I can see it being difficult, because I know there's always this question of being an artist and an entrepreneur, and does the art of entrepreneurship reduce the the effect or the meaning behind the art, right? And you got a lot of artists that don't, like you said, they don't want to necessarily sell online, and you don't want to necessarily get in certain spaces that is kind of considered taboo. But at the same time, you're an entrepreneur. So, you know, you have a business that you're running, you know what I mean? So I can see that fine line. I know I had a conversation with Dana Knapp with Iamd.c about that a while back. And she was talking about the struggles between some artists and their business, what they're doing in their business. So I'm glad you brought that up, Harold, because that makes sense.
So I wanted to ask my question. You have something, Adrian?
Yeah, just really quickly. I also want to say when artists are elevated and they bring other artists with them, like Harold is really, really good at that. He will say, hey, here's an opportunity. I think you should go for it. All the time. He's really good about that. So that also helps with exposure too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Appreciate you sharing.
Yeah. So what questions are not being asked that you want to answer? And that's for anybody to answer right quick.
So I know you guys do these interviews. We know you got these questions that people, you know, create and put together. And I think Michael kind of spawned that. So what questions do you want to answer that are not being asked of you? If that makes sense at all.
And I had a quick question that everybody can answer. What
is the structure of the concept of creative placemaking? And the reason why this question is important is because I took some time and was offered an opportunity to go to the National Endowment in July of last year to work with a selected team of artists to review artists from across the country and municipalities who wanted to go after what's called an Our Town grant. And in order for them to acquire the grant, they had to come up with a creative placemaking concept that would compete with national applications for creative placemaking. But the challenge is that most people don't fully understand the concept of creative placemaking. And it does have multiple tiers of activity that make it a successful endeavor. This project that we just completed with 6 murals in 6 locations of the size and scope that they were, and all of the municipalities and all of the organizations that had to come together to make this happen is almost like a premier creative placemaking concept. And National Endowment in the past 10 years has given out over $100 million to organizations doing creative placemaking projects. And we're not getting our share of that money. And so that's the question I think needs to be answered is, what does it take to do a successful creative placemaking project? How do you structure yourself to be able to compete? And how do you leverage that money? Because once you get that money can be implemented or applied however you want to do it, as long as it fits within the scope of your original proposed concept. But if you don't understand how the anatomy of a creative placemaking initiative, it makes it very difficult for you to compete, especially in light of the fact that there are a lot of organizations that work very well with municipalities. And a lot of times we're left out of those circles.
Mm-hmm.
That question's not being asked. How do you do it? How does it work? What makes it successful? What do I need to do to compete for a portion of that 100 million?
I love that. I love that question. And hopefully we got, you know, like you said, with the Black Lives Matter mural with those 6, right? That's a starting point, right?
They've already made the mold and broke the mold. Now they just got to be able to talk about it.
Yeah. Absolutely. What other questions out there? Vivian, you look like you got a question that you want to answer that's not been asked.
I don't necessarily have a question. I just want to remind people that my mural is on 63rd and Brookside. If you have not already gone to see it, please take the opportunity to go see it. Get out of your car. It's hard to see it when you're driving on top of it, but get out of your car and just go see it on 63rd and Brookside, which I was reminded yesterday that it was the only Black Lives Matter mural that was on the other side of the dividing line. So I didn't even think of that. I didn't think of it when I was creating, but someone brought it to my attention yesterday. It's really huge.
Adrian, I see you. I saw that. You look like you was about to say something.
No, I was just agreeing with her. It is huge. We've been at my school for the month of August. We've been working with our scholars on systemic racism and undesigning the red line. And so my part of that was helping them to see as visual artists how they can use their gifts, their talents to undesign this red line, to shine light on humanity, to shine light or to provoke deeper thinking, right? What could they do? And so the Black Lives Matter mules hit on the very last week, the end of that unit. And so it was a great opportunity because some of my students were able to come and be a part of that. They had learned about it for a month, and now they were able to execute their talent to say, hey, I will not stand for this injustice. Hey, I'm a part of this fight, and I'm a part of history in Kansas City. So, I mean, I guess mine would be with all of the activities that are happening in Kansas City, there's no place for our youth to go. There's no place for them to be. Like, as a city, when are we going to have, or how can we develop more projects like this where our children can come and be a part of something positive? Because they are so talented. Some of them are talented and don't even know it until you just kind of awaken it in them. And it's a way for them to express anger. It's a creative way instead of a violent way to express anger. So yeah, can we get some of that $1 million, that 100 million? How can we get some of that 100 million so that we can set up these opportunities for our kids to come out and learn how to use their anger, their hatred, their frustration in a creative way?
Exactly. And right quick, I wanted y'all to get y'all exposure right quick. So tell us how we can follow you and how everybody can get in contact with you guys so they can look at your artwork.
Oh, I'm at Rendering Art Studio on Instagram and Rendering Art Studio on Facebook. It's the same. The email is the same at gmail.com. So super easy, Rendering Art Studio.
Right on, right on. Vivian?
I would say go to Black Space Black Art on Facebook and or Instagram. A lot of my art is there. Probably more of my art is on Black Space Black Art than it actually is on my personal business page, just because Natasha is just so good and I'm a slacker on my side. But for me, you can actually see all of my personal art on Expressions of Blue on Facebook and Instagram. You can also email me at expressionsofblue@gmail.com. But you will probably get a better insight of my work on Black Space Black Art.
All right. Michael, how can we get in contact with you or follow you?
So I'm going to be through Arts Tech in the downtown. We do a lot of work through family court and juvenile justice. Also, you can look me up on artist Michael Toombs on a Google search. You'll find a lot of information on how to get in touch with me and see some of the stuff that I've been involved in as well.
Michael, it sounds like you just wanted to say, hey, Google me.
I'm kind of like this right now. You know, at 65, I've kind of done it, and but I'm still out there punching for the young people because they deserve an opportunity and a break too. I echo you on that one, Adrian.
I love it. Warren.
You can find me on my website, Iamd.c.com. Also, my Facebook, you can catch me at Warren Styles Harvey. My IG, you can catch me at Warren Harvey Art. And my number is 817.
He had a shirt with his number on it.
Absolutely. Put it out there.
All right, Harold. How can we get in contact with you?
Yes, you could go to my website, haroldsmithart.com, or you could just Google Harold Smith and art, and you'll see all the other links.
Yeah. Buy their art.
Google me.
Share their
Google
art.
me.
Hire them, pay them fairly, provide access to affordable workspace, advocate for them.
Hey, man, I think we did a good job. We're right at the hour mark. We're an hour and 25 seconds, 26 seconds, 27 seconds. We're there. I'm telling you.
Get it.
We're trying. We're trying. Hey, we appreciate you all again. We normally do a closing remarks, but you know what? You know, we appreciate everything that you guys have done. We won't keep you any longer. We love you guys, love the art. Keep pushing the movement. We'll support you. We got a space that is still under construction. We've been talking about it being under construction for the last 2 years. It is under construction. And so as soon as we open our space, we are going to obviously try to get you guys and get you all featured in our space as well, because like you said, exposure is key. I love the levels to everything, right? We got artists that's been in the game for 30 plus, 20 plus years. We got artists that's been in the game for 5 years. And it all is relevant. It all matters. And the length of time doesn't matter. Just the quality of what in your perspectives is what matters. So again, we appreciate you all. And then Debbie said, do all these artists have files at the Nelson? So I'm not sure if you do or don't. If Michael Toon said, Google me, you'll see it. Google me. It's there. You'll see it all. No, I'm just kidding. No, but we appreciate you all, and thank you for taking time out to talk to us and talk to our family, the Porterhouse family. Keith, thanks you for tapping in. Will, thank you for tapping in. Debbie, my wife Aisha, Christina, Katie, Dee, Linda, everybody, thank you so much. And I think I'm going to end it. Sharon, you got anything else before I end this?
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I'm pushing the button. I'm pushing the button.
Thank you.
I'm up to some. I'm up to some. I'm up to some. I'm up to some. I've been to go, glad that you know. I'm up to some. Heaven just gave me the green light to go. I'm up to some. Girl, I been knew that you been down. I'm up to some. It's always you and your friends round. I see you got the new kin style, pretty in style. Been thinking though, they heard my name round, they don't think I know. Your girl in the back when a cloud chase. I guess for the night we'll keep it OC. That's a great distraction, but you know I'm on a mission. Y'all got 3 months to get practice, almost like I'm chasing chicken, cuz I'm up to some. I'm up to some. I'm up to some. I'm up to some. One day back in my timeline, you was worried about my limelight. You see me different every time I say I need life and make beats more. You control the shift like a keyboard. Hold on, wait, like a paradigm and keep running on like a marathon. Then you reach for your blacks like Farrakhan. But after that be the weedo. Told me that you wanna meet me, no. I don't wanna really be mean, no. But I've had better on the East Coast. Fuck you for the green like CeeLo. All about the green like she go. Phone blowing up like CeeLo too. Guess Ben really got the keys though too, like I'm up to some. I'm up to some. I'm up to some.